What happens when a spoiled Russian rich kid thinks the world owes him everything? Well, you strap in, because this brat is about to get the roast of his life. Meet Grisha, son of one of the richest men in Russia. Spoiled? Check. Rude? Double check. Completely useless? That's the hat trick. This guy spends his days partying, drinking, and treating women like disposable napkins. One night, after promising a girl a ride, he kicks her out just because she won't get cozy with him. Classy, right? On his way home, he gets pulled over for speeding. As always, he tries to bribe the cop, Captain Semyonov. But this cop isn't buying it. So what does our genius Grisha do? He tries to speed away, with the officer literally clinging to his hood like an action movie stunt double. Yeah, empathy level, 0. Of course, he lands in jail, but even behind bars, he's still barking orders like he's at a 5-star resort. Luckily, Daddy Pavel shows up to bail him out. Again. The police chief lays it out. Grisha is completely out of control. He's wrecked yachts, wrecked people, and now he's put a cop in the hospital. Basically, he's Russia's #1 menace. Pavel scolds his son, threatening to cut him off. But Grisha? He laughs it off because Daddy always caves. Stressed and desperate, Pavel runs to his friend with benefits, a TV producer named Anastasia. She suggests a crazy solution. A man named Lev, a weirdo special effects guru she used to work with on horror movies. When Pavel meets Lev, the guy greets him by fake hanging himself from the ceiling. Yeah, seems trustworthy. Lev brags about how he cured a smoker by pretending to cut off his own finger. Pavel wants to leave immediately, but Anastasia convinces him to hear Lev's wild plan. Cut to a few days later. Grisha stumbles out of a nightclub. He sees his car getting towed and runs after it, only to get shot with a tranquilizer dart. He wakes up in a stable, wearing 19th century clothes, surrounded by strangers calling him a stable boy. Welcome to 1860s Russia, Grisha. Population. Confusion. A stable hand named Artyom tells him to saddle horses, or the Lord will punish him. When Grisha refuses, the foreman Avdey drags him out and kicks him like he's a misbehaving mule. Then landowner Dmitri and his son Alexei show up. They hand Avdey a whip, and Grisha gets his first taste of 1860s discipline. Grisha bolts at the first chance, running through the village screaming for a phone, the cops, or literally any brain cell. No one understands him, because duh, it's all part of the act. He reaches the estate border, trips, and falls into a lake. Soaking wet, he tries to get new clothes from the villagers, but instead, he's captured and sentenced to be hanged for escaping. Just when things look fatal, Dmitri's daughter Aglaya shows up. She begs for mercy as a birthday gift. So, Grisha's life is spared. But surprise, this isn't real time travel. The bird spying overhead? Just a drone. The whole 1860s setup is Lev's genius plan. With Anastasia's TV skills and Pavel's money, they've built an entire fake village to teach Grisha a lesson. Hidden cameras are everywhere. Snipers lurk in the trees with tranquilizers. Every villager is an actor. And yes, the whipping was real enough to make Pavel question his life choices. While Grisha sulks in the stable, actors pick up their scripts for the next scenes. Rules are strict. Women can't shave their legs, men can't shave their faces, no bras, no earrings, no modern accessories. They're basically living the role. Alexei flirts with his girlfriend Liza, who actually works with the horses. Meanwhile, Aglaya is grumpy because the writers want her to be Grisha's love interest. She's not thrilled about being cast as the spoiled brat's future crush. Grisha's new daily routine is pure nightmare fuel. Wake up at dawn, eat broth with flies as protein, shovel horse manure, and get whipped every time he opens his mouth. Not exactly champagne service. One day, he overhears Aglaya crying because her father wants her to marry some wrinkly old rich dude. Does Grisha show sympathy? Nope. He tells her to go for it. After all, the old guy will probably die soon and she'll get all the money. Romantic king. Later, Grisha steals a chicken. He convinces Artyom to help him make soup. then eats it all by himself. When Avde demands the thief confess, Grisha stays quiet, letting poor Artyom take the whipping instead. Artyom later shows Grisha his fake scars, courtesy of the makeup team. Grisha still doesn't care. But then he spots Liza's modern underwear by accident. Convinced he's found proof of time travel shenanigans, he chases her and tries to pull at her clothes. Thankfully, the villagers rescue her before Grisha makes things even worse. At this point, Pavel is ready to cancel the whole project. But then, a miracle. Grisha actually apologizes to Liza. Lev sees an opportunity and orders the actors to let it play out. Liza accepts the apology, though she's still cautious. It's the first tiny crack in Grisha's spoiled brat armor. Days later, the village celebrates the Ivan Kupala holiday, a magical night where whoever you spend it with will stay with you forever. Grisha, of course, teaches everyone the lambada and gets them doing a conga line. Because nothing screams 1860s Russia like a party line dance. During the festival, Aglaya tells Grisha she'll drown herself in the lake to avoid her arranged marriage. Instead of rushing to stop her, Grisha goes to flirt with Liza, bragging about the wonders of future technology. Artyom finally interrupts and warns him Aglaya's at the lake. Grisha sprints over, saves her, and carries her back. But when she tries to kiss him, he rejects her and goes looking for Liza instead. He finds her at home, but she slams the door in his face. Legend or not, she's not interested in being this idiot's soulmate. Lev then promotes Liza to official love interest. She's not happy about it, refuses to kiss or sleep with him, but agrees to try to help him become less of a dumpster fire. The next story beat begins with Alexei drunk, causing trouble and hurting the sheriff just because he's noble. Grisha's jealous of the wild night out, but things turn serious when Dmitri orders Grisha to take Alexei's punishment instead. At first, Grisha refuses, but when he's promised freedom and good food, he agrees. This time, he even shares the food with Artyom. He's whipped 24 times. Pavel can't even watch it, and storms out of the control room, doubting himself. Anastasia reassures him, saying Lev's methods really do work. She quit smoking thanks to one of his tricks. But when Grisha asks for his freedom papers afterward, Alexei mocks him, kicks him, spits on him, and calls him an idiot for believing it was real. For once, Grisha almost fights back. But instead, he swallows his pride and walks away. And that's where our spoiled brat finally starts to change. He keeps working, grows closer to Liza, and even starts falling in love. One afternoon, Grisha and Liza are walking when they spot a bird flying strangely. In reality, it's a drone glitching out. Liza distracts him, saying it's her guardian angel. Luckily, the technicians fix it before Grisha gets suspicious. Meanwhile, Aglaya and Alexei are furious. Aglaya's mad she got replaced by Liza. Alexei's mad his girlfriend is spending time with Grisha. So, naturally, they hook up in a carriage. Because nothing says siblings like, oh wait, they're not siblings? Grisha thinks they are. Awkward. Grisha and Liza catch them in the act. Liza is heartbroken. Grisha, meanwhile, is traumatized, convinced he just saw Game of Thrones Russian edition. Lev fires Aglaya and Alexei immediately. To cheer up Liza, Grisha decorates the stable with candles and makes her a romantic dinner. They share food, stargaze, and he even admits that if he were free, he'd marry her. Finally, Liza kisses him. Growth, ladies and gentlemen. Growth. Back in the real world, Aglaya goes on TV and spills the beans. Grisha has been kidnapped and tortured. The police launch an investigation and Pavel panics. Lev insists they have time to wrap things up with a heroic finale. So, what's the grand idea? Mongol invaders attack the village. Because sure, why not throw Mongols into this soap opera? Grisha is with Liza when the raid begins. She tells him that if they're separated, she wants him to know everything between them was real. Artyom insists they return to the village or the Mongols will burn it down. At the village, the Mongols demand food and women. When they choose a young girl, Her father steps up to duel for her freedom. He dies, but earns her release. Next, the Mongol leader picks Liza. Grisha freezes and runs away, leaving her crying. Classic coward move. Pavel wants to shut the whole thing down, but Lev believes in Grisha. And miraculously, Grisha proves him right. He sees the bird drone overhead, takes it as a sign, and decides to be a hero. He jumps on a horse, grabs Liza's old stick, rides into the Mongols, smacks them around, and rescues her like a knight in slightly stained trousers. Right after they escape, the police storm the set. But Pavel, Anastasia, and Lev lie, saying they're filming a movie. The cops believe them and leave. Russian police work, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Grisha and Liza ride beyond the estate and stumble upon a gas station. Yep, the illusion is shattered. Before Liza can explain, the sniper darts him again. He wakes up in a hospital. Pavel tells him he's been in a coma for 3 months after a car accident. When Grisha asks about the village and Liza, Dad gaslights him harder than a telenovela villain. Grisha tries to go back to his old partying lifestyle, but it feels empty now. He even gifts his car to Captain Semyonov to make amends. Character development unlocked. One night at a club, he runs into Alexei and Aglaya. He asks them about Liza. They pretend not to know him. Seeing him so crushed, they take pity and finally point him in the right direction. The next day, they bring him to the ranch where the horses were rented, and there she is, Liza. Grisha asks her if it was all real for her too. She says yes. They kiss. The brat has finally been reformed. Sometime later, Grisha takes Liza to his father's wedding with Anastasia. Yes, Dad married the producer. Awkward family dinners incoming. Grisha thanks his dad for putting him through this insane project. From that moment, he even helps other spoiled rich brats reform at the fake village. From menace to mentor, who would have thought? And that's how a spoiled billionaire's son got whipped, humiliated, and conned into becoming a halfway decent human being. So tell me, if your parents faked an entire medieval village to teach you manners, would you come out polite, or would you still try to bribe the blacksmith? Anyway, smash that like button before I whip you like Avday, subscribe so you don't miss more wild recaps, and remember, don't be a Grisha. See you in the next one.